welcome to the Torah Outreach Program, Erev Shabbos Bursts of Inspiration. Today's Burst of Inspiration is sponsored by Mr. Avram Eliezer Friedman in honor of his son's mayor putting on tefillin for the very first time. May he grow to be a tremendous Talmid Chacham, and the schus, the merit of putting on tefillin, should seep into his bloodstream. This week's Parsha, Parshas Bamidbar, starting a whole new sefer. But I'm going to go off the topic today because of the President of the United States of America. This Shabbos, the President has made a national day of Shabbos. What does that mean for us? It means that the world recognizes, at least our president, this country, recognizes the greatness of Shabbos Kodesh. It is he's making this as part of the month of Jewish Culture Month, whatever that is, in the whole month of May is recognizing the contributions that the Jewish people have done for this country. But I think it's extremely significant that he's made of everything he can focus on, anything we can focus on as far as what the Jewish people are all about, to make a day of Shabbos, because that we know is the sign of the Jewish people. Our flag, our sign, is Shabbos. So, whatever your political alignings are, we should be very grateful to the President for emphasizing the idea of Jewish culture is Shabbos. On that topic, I had the incredible opportunity last Shabbos to hear from Rabbi Yisroel Kaplan from Israel, who spoke, and I was very, very moved by what he had to say. So instead of saying something on my own, I'm going to repeat, to the best of my ability, what I heard from Rabbi Kaplan. He talked about a subject that we've talked about many times before, that Shabbos is very, very different than the rest of the week. If you've ever taken a look at the tefillos, at the davening, the prayers on Shabbos, Shmona Esrei, every single day is the exact same thing. Every tefillah, morning, afternoon, evening, exact same thing. Yantif, although it's different than the week, of course, but every one, morning, afternoon, evening, exact same thing. Shabbos, however, every single one, the center part of the prayer of Shmona Esrei is different. First one is Vayachulu, talking about how God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. Second one is Yismach Moshe, talking about Kabbalas Torah, when the Torah was given. And the third one is Ata Echad, God is one, and we all recognize that, talking about Shabbos level. When Mashiach comes, everyone will recognize the greatness of the one and true creator of the world. That'll be called Yom Shekulo Shabbos. That will go into a time where every day is Shabbos. The first one recognizes Shabbos Bereshis, the first Shabbos of creation, and so much so that the Gemara teaches us that when someone says those words Vayachulu and is keeping Shabbos properly and really understands what he's talking about, he becomes a shutaf, a partner with God, so to speak, in creation. God gives him credit as if he helped him create, that person helped him create the world. So Rabbi Kaplan tells a story. He said one Friday morning, his wife got a phone call from a student of his from New York, saying that horrible things had happened to him recently. He lost $50,000 in business, and two of his children were diagnosed with Tay-Sachs. Rabbi Kaplan comes home, and his wife tells him that your student called, he wants a bracha, he wants you to pray for him, to daven for him. And Rabbi Kaplan is visibly upset. And his wife says, what's wrong? He said, of course I'm upset about my student, but I'm also like, what does he want from me? What do I know? What can I do? I'm not a rebel. I give a bracha, it's not my thing. You got to do something. It's your student. So okay, I'll do what I can. And he takes a cab down to the kotel and prays for a student. And he also prays for guidance as to what to say to his student. On the way back, he couldn't find a cab or whatever it was. He just hopped on a bus, which he didn't like taking buses. So he sat in the back, because people aren't dressed properly sometimes. He sat in the back and he stared at his lap. And all of a sudden, a chassid taps him on the shoulder and says, want to hear a great Hasidic story? He said, okay, but make it quick. And he said, there was this Hasidic rebbe that one of his Hasidim came to him and said, my children are very, very sick. And I've tried everything. I don't know what to do. Can the Rebbe please give me a bracha? And the Rebbe said, I want you to do something tonight. When you say Vayachulu in Kiddush, you become a shutov. You become a partner with God in creation, which means you can change the reality of creation. You can change things because you're part of creation. Have in mind for your children for your child that he should have a refuah shlema, complete recovery. And the chassid continued telling Rabbi Kaplan the following week. That's exactly what happened. He went to the Rebbe, and he told him what happened. His son got better. Beautiful story. And then it's coming closer to Rabbi Kaplan's stop, and he said the chassid tapped him on the shoulder again and said, want to hear another story? He said, okay, but this one's going to be quicker. I'm almost at my stop. And he said, this chassid came to the Rebbe and said that he lost, his business is going under. And he doesn't know what to do. And he tried everything. Could the Rebbe please pray for him? Give him bracha. And the Rebbe said, do you talk about business on Shabbos? And the chassid admitted that's really the only time he had a chance to really sit down and talk with his wife. And yeah, we talk about business. He said, never again. Accepting yourself, you're never going to talk about business on Shabbos. And the chassid continued. And that's exactly what happened. Stopped talking about business. A couple of weeks later, the chassid came back to the Rebbe and said, made a turnaround. Business is going much better. Rabbi Kaplan was inspired from this and came home and called his student, and he asked the student, do you ever talk about business to your wife on Shabbos? And he said, yeah, well, it's the only time we have a chance to talk, and of course we talk about everything, business comes up. He said, no, don't do that again. Accepting yourself to Shabbos. From now on, you're not going to talk about business on Shabbos. And he said, as far as your children with Tay-Sachs, when you say Kiddush Friday night, you're a shutaf, you're a partner with God in creation. You can change the makeup of creation. Have it in mind, be thinking that your children should have no problem There should be no problem with the Tay-Sachs, and the whole thing should go away. He said, I heard this from him. He said, this is exactly what happened. Got a call a week later. Hospital called back, apologizing. There was a mistake with the blood test. You know, Tay-Sachs. And his business turned around, and he made back the $50,000 that he lost, and then some. The koach, the power of Shabbos, the power of making kiddush, of chulu. Saying, God is saying, you are with me in my creation of the world. This is the sign of who we are. So, thank you, Mr. President, for emphasizing this Jewish Cultural Month with the sign of what Jewish culture is, the sign of who the Jewish people are. The sign of Shabbos. The Shabbos.